is mechanical actuating systems. Now we are in actuating systems. That is our third unit. Already we have completed fluid systems, fluid actuating systems. That is both hydraulics and pneumatic systems. And what are the different components and working principles of the different fluid systems and fluid pneumatic and hydraulic circuits and valves. Everything you have we have learned in previous sections. Okay, and now our topic is mechanical actuating systems. We have two more actuating system, mechanical actuating systems and electrical actuating systems in this unit. Okay, so we have to complete both systems, mechanical and electrical actuating systems. So first we have to complete mechanical actuating systems. Okay, I think this unit is nothing but you have well aware of this unit because you know all mechanisms you have learned in kinematics of machines and dynamics of machines. Okay, same thing I repeated here. Just I will give a small idea because I think you have well idea on this topic. So no need of much explanation on mechanical actuating systems. Just I will give a small idea on mechanical actuating systems. Okay. Still admitting. So this in mechatronic systems, one of the element is actuating systems. Okay. In actuating systems, we are using so many mechanisms for converting the motion from one form to another form. We mechatronics means one of the best application for mechatronics is robotics. Robotics means is there so much of linkages are there. So how to convert so many motions from one form to another form. So mechatronic system, mechanical actuating systems are where roles plays very important role in mechatronics. Okay, in mechatronics we are using so many mechanical elements like linkages, cams, gears, rack and pinion mechanisms, and chains, belt drives, and bearings, etc. So we have some idea, basic idea on these topics. Okay, for a better understanding of actuating systems. So in this topic, I will cover all mechanisms like what is mechanism, okay, and what are the inversions of mechanisms, and what are the different mechanisms used in mechatronics, and gears, rack and pinion mechanisms, chain drives and belt drives, and bearings. I will give you a small idea on this because I'll think you know you have basic idea on these things because you have already learned in previous classes, in especially in com kinematics of machines and dynamics of machines. You have learned all those things. Just I will give just basic idea on this. Okay, so we see the mechanical actuating systems. uh, you know in previous in earlier days we are using mechanical systems as control systems. Okay, all control systems are made up of mechanical mechanisms, different mechanisms. But in nowadays so we are replacing those mechanical systems, controlling systems with micro based controllers. Already I explained in previous classes, but still we need we have to learn about mechanical actuating systems because still we are using so many mechanisms in mechatronic systems. So we have to learn about the mechanical actuating systems for better understanding of the mechatronic system. Okay, it's simply mechanical actuation systems is nothing but is the mechanisms, learning of mechanisms. Okay, the mechanisms are used to transmit the motion and or modify the motion. In mechanical mechanisms are mainly used for four purposes. You know that first thing, any mechanism, the main purpose of the mechanism is to transmit the motion or force. Okay, to transmit the motion or force, okay, and to change the conversion of motion from one form to another form. This is the main purpose of any mechanism is to transmit the motion or and force and to convert the motion from one form to another form. This is the main purpose of any mechanism. So mainly we have four purposes. The first purpose is for mechanism is to convert the linear motion into rotational motion. What is the first thing? Mechanisms may transform linear motion into rotational motion. Best example, IC engine. In IC engine, the linear motion of piston is converted into rotation. The linear motion of piston is converted into rotation by using crank and connecting rod mechanism. Okay, means the piston is oscillating, means moving in linear motion, linear way, and we are converting into rotary. So that is the basic mechanism used for conversion of linear motion into rotational motion. That is the first purpose. What is the second purpose? Here we are converting the rotary motion into the translation motion, means linear motion. Rotary motion into linear motion. Okay, that is the second purpose of the any mechanism. So best example is cam. Cam mechanism. What is the cam? Cam is rotating. Okay, follower is the rotary motion of the cam is converted into linear motion with the help of cam and follower mechanism. Okay, the cam is rotating. That rotating motion is converted and transformed to follower. Follower is moving in linear motion. Well, here we are converting rotary motion into linear motion. That is the second purpose. Okay, and third purpose is we are changing the motion, direction of the motion. We are changing the direction of the motion. Okay, a motion in one direction is converted into another direction. Okay, this best example is bevel gear and worm gear drives. Okay, bevel and worm gear drives, we are changing the direction. We are changing the direction of the motion. Means suppose the rotating clockwise rotation, we are converting into anti-clockwise. Okay, anti-clockwise rotation is converted into clockwise rotation. Like means we are converting the motion, direction of the motion. That is the third purpose. And fourth purpose is the increase or decrease of the motion, means the reduction or amplification of the motion. This is obtained with the help of gear trains. You know already gearbox. What is the purpose of gearbox? To increase or decrease the motion. Means we can increase the speed. Okay, or we can decrease the speed with the help of gear trains. These are the main purposes of the any mechanism. One is transmission of mechanism from one form to another form. Second one is to change the direction of motion from one direction to another direction, and next one is to reduction or increase of motion. These are the main purposes of the mechanism in main purpose of the mechanisms. So we are utilizing all these things by using mechanisms. Okay, this is about mechanisms. Now we see what are the different mechanisms used in mechatronics system. Okay, first one linear to rotational, second one rotational to linear, next one is one direction to other direction, last one is to change the to increase or decrease the motion. Motion here speed. Okay, here we are using different mechanisms in mechatronic systems. Okay, already I told what are those linkages. Cams, we are using cams, gear trains, okay, chain drives and belt drives and ratchet ball mechanisms, bearings. All these are used in mechatronic systems. All these are mechanical elements are used in mechatronic system. Okay, and why we are using in mechatronic system? What is the main use of mechanical elements? One is for force amplification. One is for force amplification, means a little force can be amplified by using levers. Means we are taking mechanical advantage. With less effort, we can get more. Means for example, screw jack. How can you lift the heavy weights with less effort? With the help of screw jack. Okay, that is the force amplification. By applying the little force, we can get the more force to lift the vehicle. That is the one of the application for the mechanical elements in the mechatronic system. That is, first one is force amplification. We can increase with less efforts. We can do more force. We can apply more force with less effort. Next one is change the magnitude and direction. Change the magnitude and direction with the already I told gate trains are the best for reduction of the speed. Okay, and the direction, to change the direction of the speed also we can use gear trains. Okay, back gear is the best example. In automobiles, what is the use of back gear? We can change the direction of the motion. Okay, and already I told transfer the axis of the rotation. Worm and bevel gear are the best example for change the direction. Already I told these are the main applications of mechanisms in mechatronic system. One is force amplification, change in magnitude and direction, and third one is a transfer of the change of the direction, change the direction of the motion. Okay, first we see the linkages. Before that, you know, degrees of freedom. You know what is the degrees of freedom? How many degrees of freedom a body has? I will unmute you, please. How many degrees of freedom a body has in space? Please, anyone?
6, sir.
6 degrees of freedom. Actually, we have infinite degrees of freedom for any body, but we describe any the body with 6 degrees of freedom. What are the degrees of freedom?
3 translational, 3 rotational.
Yes, we have 3 translational motions and 3 rotational motions. Okay, we have 6 degrees. Good. Okay, any body in space we can describe with 6 degrees of freedom, 3 rotational and 3 translational. See this, the translation in x direction, y direction and z direction means 3 linear motions, and 3 rotation means rotation about the x axis, rotation about y axis, and rotation about z axis. Means we have 3 linear motion, translational motion, and 3 rotational motion. Totally we have 6 degrees of freedom. Okay, in a practical condition we can use the combination of these 6 degrees of freedom for movement of any body. Okay, in mechatronic system, for example, the movement of the robot hand, movement of the robot hand. Okay, here the robot hand has different motions, means the combination of linear and rotational motions. It is rotating and moving in a vertical direction and a horizontal direction, x direction, y direction, and z direction, and it is rotating in x about x direction, about x, y, and z. Means complex motions, means the combination of these 6 degrees. 6 degrees can be utilized in mechatronic system. I will show a video of a robot. See this. In mechatronic systems, we have the motions, the combination of these 6 motions. See this. Here I am showing the metal handling robot. See this. Here the robot is rotating about y axis, rotating about y axis, and here we have a linear motion. It is picking, okay, pick the object and placing. Means we have rotation, linear, rotation in x direction, rotation in y direction, and rotation in z direction. Means here the movement of the hand robot has the combination of the motions. Means complex motions is possible here. See this. Linear motion is there, rotation is there. So here we are using different linkages. See this. Linear x direction, z direction, y direction. We have linear movements and rotational movements. Means we have the combination of 6 movements are there in practical conditions. So here we are using so many mechanisms. So here hand robot is a mechanical actuating system. This is the best example for mechanical actuating system. See this, how computer processing units are handled by using robot. These are the CPUs. Means we have to learn about the mechanisms in mechatronics, because in any mechatronic systems, the mechanical force is applied by actuating systems. Here the actuating systems are hydraulic systems or pneumatic systems or mechanical systems or electrical systems. The robot is the best example for the mechanical actuating system, because here we are using different mechanisms for applying the force, for converting the electrical signal into mechanical signal. See this. Why I'm showing this video? Because the importance of mechanisms in mechatronic system, because robotics is the best example for mechatronic system. So in robotics, the hand movement of robot is because of different mechanisms. Okay, still we are using hydraulics fluid also for operating the hand robots. See this, how labels are pasted to these boxes. Here we have linear movements and rotational movements. How many degrees of freedom this robot has? For see this. This is the rotation. Okay, now you can understand why we have to learn about the mechanical actuating systems in mechatronics, because in mechatronic systems we have to aware of different mechanisms, okay, and different degrees of motion for handling a particular object. Okay, so first we see the different mechanisms, basics regarding the mechanisms, and later we will see different mechanisms used in mechatronic systems. First, degrees of freedom. What is degrees of freedom? Degrees of freedom means the minimum number of independent displacement required for the specify a system. Means the modes of motion. Degrees of freedom means the modes of motion in which a system a system is moving. Means modes of motion is nothing but degrees of freedom. Means how many independent displacements required to specify a system. Okay, any system has we are describing a system, a object, okay, with 6 degrees of freedom, 3 rotational and 3 translationals. Okay, you know that. Okay, and by we can constrain the different degrees of freedom for prescribed movement of the prescribed motion of an object. Means we are applying different constraints. By constructing the different degrees of freedom, we are getting the specified movement of a particular object. Means degrees of freedom can be constrained for prescribed movement of any object. See this. Here the link is constrained, means the link is moving in x direction only. Means you know we have 6 degrees of freedom, but 5 degrees of freedom is constrained, means arrested. Here the object is moving in only one direction, in x direction only. What about remaining 5 degrees of freedom? We constrained it. So the body is moving in linear direction only. Means by constraining the degrees of freedom, we can specify we can prescribe the motion of an object. Here, see this, the body is moving in horizontal direction, at the same time it is rotating. Means it has 2 degrees of freedom. Means remaining 4 degrees of freedom is constrained. Means by constraining the degrees of freedom, we can specify the motion of an object. Okay, totally we have 6 degrees of freedom. okay, by arresting the different modes of motion for particular movement of a particular body or object. See this here, the body has only single degree of freedom, 1 degree of freedom. 5 degrees of freedom is arrested, mean constrained. Here the body has 2 degrees of freedom, 4 degrees of freedom is arrested, means constrained. Okay, now we see about kinematic chain. What is link, what is joint, what is chain? Okay, what is link? Okay, link is a resistant body which is used for transmitting the motion or force from one element to another element. What is link? Link is a rigid body or resistant body. What is the difference between rigid body? Rigid body means a body which transmits the motion without deformations. Practically it is impossible. There is no rigid bodies. So we are using resistant bodies. Resistant body means a body which transmits the motion with a little negligible deformation. So a link is a rigid body or resistant body which is utilized to transmit the motion or force from one element to another element. It is called link. Link is a member. Okay. The combination of links is nothing but mechanism. Combination of links forms a mechanism. Okay. Here we have different types of links. Suppose a link is transmitting motion, then the link is called kinematic link. When the link is called kinematic link, if the link is transmitting the motion, okay, from one element to other element, then the link is called kinematic link. Here we have different types of links. See this. This is the binary link. This is the ternary link and quaternary link. Means this is the totally, this link has 2 nodes. If the link has 2 nodes, it is binary link. If the link has 3 nodes, this is the ternary link. If the link has 4 nodes, that is quaternary link. Means this is a single object, okay, with 4 nodes. Means this link is connected to the different links with 3 nodes. This is ternary link, quaternary link and binary link. These are the different links used in mechanisms. Okay, link is an element. Link is a element which is used to transmit the motion and force, which is transmitted to motion or force from one element to another element without deformation, or otherwise with small deformation, then the element is called link. If link transmits the motion, it is called kinematic link. We have 3 types of links. Okay, binary, ternary and quaternary. Okay, here we can classify the links into other 3 types, that is rigid link, flexible link and fluid link. Okay, link is nothing but, okay, which transmits the motion or force from one element to another element. It is the link. Here links are classified into 3 types. Rigid link. Rigid link means, okay, a link which transmits the motion without deformation. Without deformation. Okay, means there is no deformation in the link while transmitting the force or motion. Okay, there is no deformation in the link, then the link is called rigid link. Okay, rigid links are almost impossible, but we have some rigid links, means with very negligible deformation is, for example, connecting rod and crank in IC engines. Okay, connecting rod, crank and cam, all these are the examples for rigid links. Means there is no deformations. They are made up of, okay, high strength materials. Means they can transmit the motion without deformation or with negligible deformation. Okay, rigid links are almost practically impossible. Okay, they are using resistant bodies, okay, instead of rigid bodies. Means they can transmit the motion with negligible deformation. While transmitting the motion, the deformation is very negligible. Next, second one is flexible link. Second one is flexible link. Means while transmitting the motion, the link is partially deformed. While transmitting the motion, the link is partially deformed. Best example is belt drives and rope drives. Okay, suppose see the belt. Okay, belt is the flexible link. Means it transmits the motion from one pulley to other pulley. Okay, and there is a transformation, that deformation. There is a deformation in the belt. There is a deformation in the belt, but there is no much deformation. Partial deformation is there. Still, they can transmit the motion from one pulley to another pulley. This the belt and ropes are the best example for the flexible link. And third one is fluid link. Third one is fluid link. Means fluid means oil or air, whatever it is, the fluid in the tank, which is used to transmit the motion from one element to other element, is called fluid link. Okay, best example you can JCB already, hydraulic systems. What is the which is used for transmitting the motion or force? Fluid. Hydraulic oil is used to transmit the motion, then it is called fluid link. So these are the three combinations. Okay, the three types of links used in industries, that is rigid link, flexible link, and a fluid link. Okay, fluid link means the air or hydraulic oils are used as links. Okay, hydraulic brakes, hydraulic jogs, hydraulic press. Okay, in all these things, which one is the element to transmit the motion or force? That is either oil or air. So here we have three links: rigid links, flexible link, and fluid links. These are the three types of links. This is the classification of the links. Next, joint means if you join two links, is called, the connection of two links is called joint. The connection of two links is called joints. Means the nodes of the links are connected. Okay, it is called joint. Okay, if the joint two links where two links are connected is called pair. Is called pair. If two links are connected at single node, it is called pair. Okay, suppose the relative motion between them is completely or successfully constrained. If the relative motion between these two links are successfully constrained, then the pair is called kinematic pair. Means the motion, the relative motion between these two links should be specified motion. Means they are moving in a particular motion. Okay, means they are constrained in a particular motion, for a particular motion, then the pair is called kinematic pair. When two links are joined, it is called, okay, if a combination of two links is called joint. If two links are joined at a node, it is a pair. If the motion between the two joints are specified, prescribed, means successfully constrained, then the pair is called kinematic pair. Okay, now so many links are connected. If the first link is connected to the last link, the first link, if you have so many kinematic pairs are connected together, and the first link is connected to the last link, okay, then it is called a chain, a kinematic chain. Means the kinematic, when the kinematic pairs are connected together in such a way that the last link is joined to first link to transmit a definite motion, then it is called a kinematic chain. See this, these two are two links connected. Okay, and one more link is connected, and first pair, second pair. Okay, and the first link is connected to the last link, it forms. Okay, and this is used for particular motion, for definite motion, then it is called a kinematic chain. Okay, okay, the first link of the kinematic is connected to the last link to transmit a definite motion, then it is called a kinematic chain. A kinematic chain. For example, see this. This is a kinematic chain. Here we have different links. Okay, this is the crank slider mechanism. A is the first link, A is fixed link, B is crank, second link, connecting rod is the third link. Okay, and D is, what is D? Is the slider, is the fourth link. Okay, again this is connected to the first link, that is A, fixed link. Okay, then it forms a chain, a kinematic chain. Here different pairs are there. A and B forms a pair, kinematic pair. B and C forms a kinematic pair, and C and D forms a kinematic pair, and D and A forms a kinematic pair. And the first link is connected to the last link for a particular motion, then the chain is called, okay, then the total linkage is called a kinematic chain. Here we have 4 links. Okay, A fixed link, B crank is the second link, connecting to is third link, D is slider is fourth link, and the fourth link is again connected to the fixed link. Okay, then it is forms a kinematic chain. Okay, A and between here two links are joined. This is the joint. This is pair. Okay, B and C forms a joint and it transmit a particular motion. Okay, it is to have relative motion. Then it is called a pair, a kinematic pair. Means one pair, second pair, third pair. Means all pairs are connected together and first link is connected to last link. Then it is called kinematic chain. Okay. Next one, mechanism. Next one is mechanism. If any one of the link in the kinematic chain is fixed, if any one of the link in kinematic chain is fixed, we can get a mechanism. If any one of the link in the kinematic chain is fixed, then it forms a mechanism. Those mechanisms are called inversion of mechanism. This is known as inversion of mechanism. Means by fixing the different links in the kinematic chain, we are getting different mechanisms. If any one of the link is fixed in kinematic chain, we get one mechanism. By fixing different links, we get different mechanisms. Okay, this process is called inversion of mechanism. Inversion of mechanism means by fixing different links in the kinematic chain, we get different mechanisms. Okay, now we see the basic mechanisms used in mechanical system, that is 4-bar chain mechanism and slider crank mechanism. 4-bar chain mechanism and slider crank mechanism. Okay, first we see the 4-bar chain mechanism. Okay, 4-bar chain mechanism means it is a combination of 4 links. It is a combination of 4 links. Okay, it's the simplest mechanism. Okay, it is formed by connecting the 4 links. Here we have 4 important characteristics for the 4-bar linkage mechanism. Okay, see this. This is the 4-bar mechanism. Means we are connecting 4 links. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, then it is called 4-bar mechanism. Okay, now we see the characteristics of the 4-bar chain mechanism. The first characteristic. Okay, it is impossible to have the 4-bar chain linkage if the length of one of the link is greater than the sum of the other 3. See this. We have 4 bars A, B, C and D. Okay, if the sum of the 3 links, suppose A plus B plus C, okay, the length of the links A, B, C, okay, is less than the length of the third link, means the length of the third link is more than the sum of the 3 links, then there is no possibility for the 4-bar mechanism. There is no possible for the 4-bar mechanism. Means we can't form a 4-bar mechanism if one of the link, the length of the one link is greater than the sum of the remaining 3 links. Okay, here the first case A is, there is no possibility of the 4-bar mechanism because the length of the D is more than the sum of A plus B plus C. The length of D is more than A plus B plus C. So there is no possibility for the 4-bar linkage mechanism. This is the first characteristics of the 4-bar linkage mechanism. Okay, what is the second characteristic? Okay, see this. If the sum of the links of largest and shortest link is less than or equal to the sum of the lengths of the other 2 links. Okay, largest and smallest, sum of the largest and smallest is less than or equal to sum of the lengths of the other 2 links. Okay, then it is possible to rotate one link, can be rotated about a fixed point in this case. Okay, then it forms a mechanism that is crank and lever mechanism. See this. Okay, here which one is the largest link? See this B diagram. We have four links A, B, C, D. Which one is the largest? B is the largest and C is the smallest link. Here B plus C is equal to A plus D. B plus C is equal to A plus D. Otherwise, B plus C is less than A plus D. Then this mechanism is four bar mechanism is possible. Means here one link can rotate about a fixed point. If the largest plus smallest is less than or equal to the sum of the remaining two links, then the smallest link can rotate about a fixed point. Okay, it is possible. Okay, the rotating link is called crank. The rotating link is called crank. Okay, so the other one, it is C is rotating here and A is oscillating here. A is oscillating here and B is the coupler between C and A. So A is called lever, C is called crank. This is called crank and lever mechanism. Crank and lever mechanism. This is the one inversion of the four bar mechanism. This is the second characteristic. This is the second characteristic. In second characteristic, we can form crank and lever mechanism. Crank and lever mechanism. Okay. Take a third one. Okay. In this third one, no link is capable of rotating, complete rotation. No link can make complete rotation. Okay. Then it is called, see this, second one. So see this. Here, no link A, B, C, D. No link can make a complete revolution. Means C can't rotate make complete revolution, and A cannot make a complete revolution. But just A and C are oscillating. A and C are oscillating. This is the third characteristic. Okay, it forms a double rocker mechanism or double lever mechanism. Means oscillating part is called lever. Means A is oscillating and C is also oscillating. Both are oscillating. Means here we have two levers. So it is called double lever mechanism. Okay. And one more thing, here two links are makes complete rotation. Means A can revolve around this point and C can revolve around this point. The link which is making rotation is called crank. Means here two links are making rotation. So here we have two rings, two cranks. Means double crank mechanism. This is called double crank mechanism. This is called double lever mechanism. This is called one crank and lever mechanism. Crank and lever mechanism. Here we have four inversions of mechanism. Here there is no possibility for mechanism. Okay, here we have one crank and one lever. Means one is rotating, one is oscillating. Here two is oscillating, so double lever. Here two is rotating, means double crank mechanism. These are the main important inversions of the four bar mechanisms. Now we see the applications. Now we see the applications for the inversions. These four are the characteristics. Okay, I think you can understand. If D is more than A plus B plus C, there is no possibility of mechanism. And B plus C is less than or equal to A plus D, then forms crank and lever mechanism. If two are oscillating, there is no possibility for rotation of any link. Okay, complete rotation, it is called double lever mechanism. If two links can rotate around complete revolutions, then it is called double crank mechanism. See this. This is the locomotive wheels. Locomotive wheels. This is the best application for the double crank mechanism. Means here two wheels. Okay, two is the wheels of the locomotive. Here two wheels are rotating. This here one crank is rotating. Here crank also rotating. It is the coupler between the two cranks. Link B. Means the locomotive wheels are the best example for double crank mechanism. Means here two links are makes complete rotation. Next one. This is the sine film advancement mechanism. Sine film advancement mechanism. This is the best example for crank and lever mechanism. Crank and lever mechanism. Here the crank A link is rotating. Okay. Here we have a linkage. This is the C is the lever. It is oscillating. This is the connecting rod. Here for every rotation, it is engaging with the film, means it advances the film, it picks it, moving the film. Okay, for every rotation it is lifting and engaging the film and moving the film, means for movement of the film this mechanism is using. Okay, this is the one of the best application for the crank and lever mechanism. See this, crank and lever means one link is rotating, one link is oscillating. Okay, C is the lever and A is the crank, this is the coupler. Okay, here the purpose for every rotation this one is lifted and engaged and it moves the film forward. Okay, this is called sine film advance mechanism. Next one, okay, Watt's mechanism. This one is the Watt's mechanism. See this, here A is the fixed link, B, C and D, four links are there. Here C and D are oscillating. Here see this Watt's mechanism, D is moving upwards and downwards according to the piston. Okay, and this is also oscillating C. So C and D are act as a levers, C and D are act as a lever, B is a coupler. So here two levers are, there is no complete rotation for any link. Here C and D are oscillating. So this is the best example for double lever mechanism. C, D is oscillating like this, C is oscillating like this. Okay, C and D are oscillating. So these two are the two levers. B is coupler. So this is called double lever mechanism. Watt's indicator mechanism is the best example for the double lever mechanism. Okay, next one, slider crank mechanism. Slider crank mechanism. This is the second basic mechanism used in, okay, first one is 4-bar mechanism, second one is slider crank mechanism. See this, slider crank mechanism has four links. Okay, A is fixed link, B is the crank which is rotating, okay, which is completely revolving, and C is the connecting rod, and D is the slider or piston, okay, which is moving in the cylinder. Okay, and the cylinder is fixed, A and B are fixed one, B is crank, C is connecting rod, D is the slider. These are the four links. If your links are connected like this, this is called slider crank mechanism. Slider crank mechanism. Okay, now we see the inversions of the slider crank mechanism. Okay, here in this mechanism, here cylinder is fixed, here cylinder is fixed, the crank is rotating. This is the best example. This is called pendulum pump. This is pendulum pump. This crank is rotating, this crank is rotating. Okay, and this lever is oscillating, this lever is oscillating. This causes the movement of the piston to and fro. Okay, and in to and fro motion of the piston causes the pumping action of the fluid. I mean, it sucks the fluid and compress the fluid. So here this the arrangement, here cylinder is fixed, here cylinder is fixed. You know what is inversion, one of the link is fixed, then it is called inversion of the mechanism. Here the link C, D is fixed, cylinder is fixed, we get pendulum pump. This is the one inversion. Second one inversion is oscillating cylinder. Second inversion is oscillating cylinder. Here connecting rod is fixed. In previous case cylinder is fixed, here the connecting rod is fixed. Here cylinder is oscillating about the pivot, oscillating about the pivot, and here the crank is rotating. Okay, the piston is moving in the cylinder, the cylinder is oscillating about this pivot. This is called oscillating cylinder engine. This is the one more inversion of the slider crank mechanism. Here connecting rod is fixed. And third one, crank is fixed. Crank is fixed. First cylinder is fixed, second is connecting rod is fixed. Here the crank is fixed. Okay, here the crank is fixed, the pistons are, this is the rotary type engine. Okay, here the pistons are moving in the, you have different pistons, different cylinders which are moving in the cylinder, that causes the rotation of the engine. Rotation of the engine, the piston movements which causes the rotation of the engine. This is called rotary engine. This is the one more inversion. Now I will show the video, one video that shows the different inversions of the mechanisms for 4-bar chain and crank and slotted mechanism. Please see this. Okay, first see this. What is the inversions of 4-bar mechanism? Double crank mechanism, that is locomotive wheels. Crank and lever mechanism, that is beam engine. Okay, and crank and lever mechanism already is shown. And pantograph, you have third inversion, that is Watt's mechanism, that is fourth inversion. Next, slide and crank mechanism, first inversion, slider crank mechanism. Second one, hand pump, second inversion. Third one is the inversion is oscillating cylinder and crank and slotted mechanism, quick rated mechanism. Already you know that used in shaper. And fourth inversion is Whitworth mechanism or rotary engine. These are the inversions of the slider crank mechanisms. All these mechanisms are used in the mechatronics. See this 4-bar mechanism. Please see 950. Please observe this video. You can understand the different mechanisms, inversions of mechanisms. Here, rotating part is called crank. The oscillating part is called lever. This is called coupler. Red is lever, green is crank. 4-bar mechanism, coupled locomotive wheels. Here, this is the connecting rod. These two are the cranks. This is double crank mechanism. Inversion of the 4-bar mechanism. Beam engine, second inversion. This is the connecting rod, crank. This is oscillating part. Blue color is lever. Someone raised. I will unmute you. Please. Hello, you can unmute. I will allow you unmute. Please. Sir, it's 9:51. 2 more minutes. Sir, you can ask anything. Someone raised hand. Please ask me. 9:51. Up to, I will continue up to 9:54. This is the pantograph. This is the one of the inversion of 4-bar mechanism. Slider crank mechanism. See this. This is the normal one. Hand pump. This is the one of the inversion of slider crank mechanism. Next, oscillating cylinder. Slotted link mechanism. Whitworth mechanism. Okay. This is the rotating cylinder. Sir, if you have any doubts, please ask me. Otherwise, you can leave. I will unmute you. Sir, unmute everyone, please. A5. Sir, if you have any doubt, please ask me. If you don't have any doubt, please, you can leave. This is the Trommel method for the drawing ellipse. This is also one of the inversion, double slider mechanism. I will show again this video in tomorrow class also. Okay. If you have any doubts, please ask me.